What's up? What's up? This is, of course, Celebrity Seaborn. I said that I wanted to start doing like a video, talking about like the things that I think about, like, and I know a lot of people have their own different thoughts and everything, but I said, well, Sunday is fun day. What's up? So Sunday fun day, and I would say Sunday is a think day for me. Some people go to church, but I like to think, which I think a lot. So, but I was thinking about like basically like life in itself. I was talking to my customer about like um life stuff and was wondering why other people did. I was like, do everybody think about like the place that we're actually in? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do everybody think about being born, and then after you're being born, you're just like here from out of nowhere? And so what I did and what I continue to do is try to think back before you were born. So like if you think back before you ever was born, because when you consider that the dinosaurs have been here, and they're saying like what they say is that we've been the, not society, but the animals have been here millions of years before, right? So if they've been here millions of years before, what's up? Um, then and we just popped out of nowhere, then it would have to let you know about you had to be somewhere else in order to get here. So then it led me to thinking, like, well, if I look at life, and when I look at life, you have all these different religions, right? I'm going to be all over the place. So you'll have to just like bear with me. But okay, you got Buddhists, Catholics, um people that worship idols and all different kind of stuff, right? So you mean to tell me that only one out of all of those different groups is the main exact one, and then all of the rest of the people are just going to die and go to hell? Then that wouldn't make sense. And then when you think about shading and color, so okay, so you have black people, white people, and Chinese people, Haitians, Jamaicans, Koreans. You have all these different races. So I would say to myself, I wouldn't want my heaven or hell being based off of um the skin that I came in. So like if I came in, would I base my heaven or hell off of entering Celebrity Seaborn body and living his life and the perils that he had to deal with within life? And I would feel like it wouldn't be fair. Like it wouldn't be fair for one to have really good parents that did everything that they could for their child, you know what I'm saying, and then the child actually listened and did good, you know what I'm saying, versus one that had to go through more struggles and trials and then maybe had to do some bad stuff in order to get ahead. Or so then what would make one better than the other? And thus got me thinking, and I was like, you know what, this place that we live in might actually be a learning facility, like an actual place that, if you think, if you were if you were in a place before you got to the earth, to where you were born into, like, let's just say, not even for argument's sake, but just for mind's sake, a heaven, right? So say that you were born a fresh angel out of nowhere. So if you're a fresh angel out of nowhere, and you didn't know about evil and bad things, you know what I'm saying? If one was to tell you, if an elder would tell you, look, there's dark places, because, okay, in my imagination, I thought of on the other side, like everything being completely bright and little tiny spaces of darkness. So like you see on Earth, it's like everything is dark in the sky besides when the sun is showing, and there's little tiny specks of white. So I felt like on the other side everything is bright, and then little tiny specks of darkness. And then your elders, the elder angels, would tell us, the children, do not go in those areas, because you will surely die, or you will get an understanding that you don't want to know about. And you'd ask them, why are you saying that? And then they say, because I've been in those areas before. But curiosity somehow catches the cat, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, like, I don't know why I somehow feel that going to those dark areas, just being inquisitive about it and looking over at it, I think you get caught into the darkness. And then the falling that I can remember it through meditation, is that when you go to those areas, you can't get back into the light. So if you can't get back into the light, then you have to fall from there, and falling from there lands into the earth. And so that's why I think that that's why no one can pick the shell that they come in. These are just shells that we sit in to be able to understand what life is. So I think that everybody from view, if you were going to have like if you were going to be a god over your world, right? And you wanted to make sure that people listen to you, what would you do to make sure it's known throughout eternity? Like, you know what I'm saying? I personally would have a big ledger in the ground, you know what I'm saying, that everybody could read, you know what I'm saying, and everybody would know these are the rules. Or I would just talk directly out of the sky. I would not plant people into the world and then secretly give decisions to people, or secretly say, okay, well, this is what I want you to say, and this is what it is, this, and I am the Lord God. Now go tell them. Tell the people that I said that I'm God. And then if something told me like that, and so that I'm just but a man, and I'm supposed to tell these people that about God like that. So, and I kept thinking about that, like, that just doesn't make real sense. So I said, well, maybe this is a learning facility. How do you live your whole life and get better and better and make mistakes and then learn from your mistakes, and then gradually get older and older and older? And then as you get older and older, you die with all of the knowledge that you need to live a successful life. So in thinking about that, I thought, there's no way that anybody is, unless if you are in some people need, I believe, just like for me, like, to suppress my appetite, sometimes I'll take a appetite suppressant, you know what I'm saying? Or some people that have mental issues, they take a pill, or you know what I'm saying? Or if you thirsty, you need water, you know what I'm saying? You hungry, eat some food. So certain people need things, and I think that that's what the religions are set out for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it is a weird thing to think of, just being stuck into life, and then you literally can't get out of here until you die. You know what I'm saying? And I think that the whole key and one of the matters are that, would you want this place like how it is, to be on the opposite side? Because you clearly see this place. And then when you wonder, the fact that you don't get to stay here long at all, wouldn't that mean something? Like, it's like, okay, you come here and then you don't get to stay long. So then why is everything so hard here? You know what I'm saying? Why is everything... It would seem to me that this place that we're living in should be a joyous place. Like, every life that's born in here should get royal treatment. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't have to be hell coming here. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that it is lets you know that something else is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I would say within my speeches, I have so much to say. So I'll just break it up each Sunday and talk about different area of it. But that's what makes me think that something else is going on, which led me to thinking that this place is a learning facility, and you could almost imagine leaving here, and like after you leave here you become like, maybe if we were children, then you become like a teen. You know what I'm saying? Like you get your teenage years when you go back, and then your parents that were up there before telling you not to go to that place, now you have that information in your head. It's like, okay, my parent had told me don't go to that area, but I went, and now I know what life's about. So now I can be able to say to either another young angel that comes along, or I know not to go to that place. You know what I'm saying? And now more will be explained. Because isn't it funny how they say, and I know it's kind of true, that we don't use all of our brain, because when you think about savants and different people that can hold more information in certain pockets, but then it dumbs them down a little bit. So it lets you know a little secret within it, that there is a possibility that you could hold more information. So you could imagine having so much knowledge, and when you come down from, we'll say, the other side, and coming down here, your consciousness is stretched out. So if you held, like, if this is your brain, and then you're squeezed through this little tiny hole, you know what I'm saying, into your body down here. So now that you're inside this body, you can't hold all of this information that's up here. So you only use a certain percentage of it, and that's the percentage to see what evil is, and see what harming does. Not using technology to benefit all, and just to benefit certain people, like not working together with the system, because there is no reason why, if each generation know they're not going to live past a certain time, you don't understand that this wouldn't be something that everybody gets to share and have fun in. Only certain people. So to let you know what not to do when you come back. So that's what I thought about, and that's what helps me to get through my days when I'm thinking about death, or thinking about anything that would make me feel a little bit bad. I think about the fact that, and another fact is that each person that comes in only gets to go out. So it's like, no matter how many people do me wrong, you know what I'm saying? I like the fact that you're gonna die too, makes me feel awesome. It's like, no matter what you do, you're gonna have to die too. Like, you get what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, when people do you wrong, they're not gonna get to stay. And even if they did get to stay, what are you staying and getting the prize of? You know what I'm saying? So when you think about a prize of eternal life, you know what I'm saying, and knowing that if you woke up in this and can't remember the other, so it's like, I can't remember where I was before I got here. I just know I was implanted here. And then when I think about my earliest years, you know what I'm saying, and then woke up with acknowledgement of self, of just being in a shell, which was the body, and then I am somebody, which is the self. You know what I'm saying? I always knew that it had to be somewhere else in which I came from. And then through meditation, you could almost imagine where you were if you open up the darker areas within your mind. So I saw through meditation that I was told about these areas in which not to go to. And within those areas, I guess I was being nosy, because there was no reason to really have gone there. And then, but how do you tell a young soul about death that lives eternally? You know what I'm saying? Just think about that for a second. Think about if you try to tell a child something what not to do. You know what I'm saying? And they have to actually go through something in order, they have to go through it and be like, okay, say, don't touch the easiest thing. Don't touch the stove because it's hot. You know what I'm saying? Now, some will feel the heat of the stove and be like, okay, I'm not going to touch it. But some will feel the heat and then still got to touch it just to see. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that we are the touch-its that had to see. You know what I'm saying? And when you touched, you couldn't get back to the other side until you go through this portion, which is not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? I believe that there's all different kind of portions. Because if I think about the Bible, and I think about, okay, if you don't praise and you don't do this, then you just die and go to hell. If you think about life itself, there are so many hells that could be imagined. Like, it don't have to be a hell of brimstone and fire. You can be put in one bad situation and forced to live that bad situation over and over and over. You can be put on one planet by yourself with nobody there and nobody answer you. You know what I'm saying? You could be forced to starve over and over and over without ever being able to get food. It's just so many more ways for a hell to be a hell besides just a burning. You know what I'm saying? And then you can't base I can't base my heaven or hell off of being a brown skinned man that was a hairdresser. It's just like, no. Or just, even if I was Caucasian, I wouldn't want to base it off of that. Because it's like, why wouldn't I have more soul, like, those people? Or, you know what I'm saying, or I'm Chinese. Why are we put on this side and I wasn't born in America? Or, just anything. So, when I was talking to my client, they said that I should probably talk about this online. So I said, well, let me talk about it online. And each week I'll try to pick a topic to talk about, but my stuff is going to be so way out of and crazy left field world. So it'll be something fun to go to when you like completely bored. It'll definitely give you something to think about. So thank you to those of you that are watching, and let's see how it goes. All right, bye-bye.